4. Here's Kyle Rickey with the call.
Jose Arce to bring the field to the green flag. He'll wave it from the starter stand. We are underway as Ronnie Williams will bring the field to turn number 1 at the front. Immediately slides up the racetrack and is challenged for the top spot.
Teddy Hodgson almost was able to sneak down to the inside. Hodgson sees an opening. Williams slips up the racetrack. Bid for the lead already, and right there with him is Kyle Elwood. Elwood in the number 4 car. A new name, but Williams is able to shake off Hodgson. Then it's a side-by-side bid.
Oh, trouble back straightaway. Couple cars into the outside wall and goes spinning to the back straightaway infield. Caution comes out. Completed in this event. Williams back to the corner over Teddy Hodgson and George Bissett Jr. Kyle Elwood having a good run early to the outside of that second row in car 5.
Back up front, off turn number 4. Williams is holding on for dear life. Hodgson changes his strategy. Pulls it back in the line, side-by-side bid for the 3rd spot. Here comes Hodgson. Slingshot move to the inside of Ronnie Williams. Williams sticks like glue in the upper lane, and Williams leads them back off 4.
Yeah, good run topside for car 50. Williams maintains the top spot over Teddy Hodgson in 2nd. They'll stack up for 3rd. George Bissett Jr. to the inside of Kyle Elwood. Then it's Woody Pitkat and Mike Christopher Jr. nose to nose for position number 5 as they come back down to the stripe.
Woody Pitkat is coming to the front of the field with a vengeance.
Got some debris.
Oh, he's sideways.
Here on the front straightaway, it looks like an air cleaner. We're going to roll to the infield. Flagman trying to push it along, and
it does. Off the turn, back down to the stripe. And here comes Hodgson. Dive bombing to the inside. Second leader of the event. Well, almost the leader. Becomes Teddy Hodgson. Williams tucks back into 2nd. Caution, we believe, is for the debris on the racetrack, the air cleaner. Still the leader at the stripe.
By a car length over Teddy Hodgson in 2nd. Now George Bissett Jr. becomes a factor in that highlighter color, number 1, as he called it in the pits earlier today, running in 3rd, just in front of Pitkat and challenging Hodgson for the runner-up spot.
Bissett does a nice job of running the inside lane. George Bissett Jr. is up to 2nd. Hodgson is stuck on the outside, and here comes Woody Pitkat. Car number 8.
Been so good in these open modified races the last couple of seasons, especially for Woody. That 8 car positioned to the inside of Teddy Hodgson for 3rd, and will take it away with, well, I say ease into the corner. Hodgson looking to rebound in the outside lane, but it will be Woody Pitkat taking that position and immediately draw closer to George Bissett Jr. for 2nd.
Look at Pitkat. Comes off the turn with a bottom shot move. Woody Pitkat running on rails to the inside. Pitkat puts the Cam McDermott and Dad prepared car into 2nd. Woody Pitkat. This was a car built in the off-season by Todd Owen and Chassis Pro, and it's showing some muscle here today.
Good one right now for Pitkat. At least that car's handling well early on in this event. Currently 2nd. How hard does he push it at this point? As I say that, he just sets the fastest lap of the race here on lap number 10 for Woody Pitkat. So he is indeed closing in on Ronnie Williams, some 0.3 of a second back in 2nd. Same gap back to 3rd now with Bissett, who has his hands full with Teddy Hodgson in car number 55. Kyle Elwood in the 4 to round out the front 5.
Kyle Elwood doing a great job coming to the half mile. Elwood setting in the top 5 with car 4. Hodgson trying to sneak down underneath George Bissett Jr. They come off the turn. Bissett still has it, but Hodgson on rails on the bottom. Outside lane has more momentum, and here comes Kyle Elwood. Elwood right there. Now in the 5th spot, going for 4.
Qualified 5th, a Riverhead, New York native from Long Island. Elwood in 4th, and doing a nice job holding off of George Bissett Jr., making that pass a half a lap ago. Closing in on Teddy Hodgson for 3rd. Top 2 begin to break away just a bit, and that is Ronnie Williams in the 50, Woody Pitkat in the 8.
As we look a little further back, just out of the top 5, we see Michael Christopher in the Page Plumbing Company machine, sitting back in the 6th spot. Chris Pastriak is 7th, and then Jacob Perry is up to 8th. Cipriano is 9th, and Les Hinckley has found a home in the top 10.
Then it's Tyler Berry in 11th, Anthony Bello 12th, Tommy Barrett 13th, Noah Corner 14th, Austin Beers rounding out the top 15 as Bissett under fire from Mike Christopher Jr. down in turn number 1 for 5th.
Great battle there. And Michael Christopher now in 5th and going forward with car 00.
Watching the battle for the lead, Ronnie Williams has it. Woody Pitkat has reeled him in. What was 0.3 of a second a few laps ago, now down to a matter of feet between the top 2. Here comes Woody digging on the inside of the racetrack, trying to build a run on Ronnie Williams. Williams a bit stronger in the outside lane. Hangs on to the race lead for now.
Woody Pitkat continues to apply the pressure as the quickest car on the racetrack. Williams doing a great job of holding on, but Williams can almost feel the heat in the radiator from Woody Pitkat's car. Pitkat trying to position himself to make that move. Can't do it because Williams has just enough. Look at Pitkat reel him in off 4, Kyle, but he can't make the move.
Can't make the move or doesn't want to make the move. Just past quarter distance here, lap 21 of 80. He's there, he knows he's there, and he knows he has a long ways to go to make the pass on Ronnie Williams. Pitkat in 2nd, both former SK Modified champions here at the racetrack. Woody, one of the winningest drivers here at Stafford. Looking to add to that total potentially here tonight.
Looking for that 2nd belt from Lincoln Tech. He was the winner, remember, securing that a year ago. Now, here comes Pitkat. Dives to the inside. Woody Pitkat on rails. Car number 8 becomes the 2nd leader of the event. Ronnie Williams drops back to 2nd. Woody Pitkat started in 7th and in 24 circuits has taken the lead.
Ronnie Williams in 2nd, watching now the Jacob Perry car go to the inside of George Bissett Jr., who has been backsliding, unlike Bissett in these races. Usually he starts toward the back and comes to the front. Thus far in the first 25 laps, he started up front, right on the front row, and now has faded to outside of the top 5, and in fact, crosses the line 8th last time by in a race with Chris Pastriak in car number 5 for that spot.
Perry now moves into the top 6. That will give Bissett the 7th position, and then Chris Pastriak will now be shown in 8th ahead of Cipriano and Les Hinckley. Back up front, Woody Pitkat by 5/10 over Ronnie Williams. Teddy Hodgson setting among the top 3, but the margin is getting bigger. Kyle Elwood is being hunted down by Michael Christopher Jr. for the 4th position.
Christopher, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now, battling with Elwood for that 4th spot. And as they race for that position, it's allowed the top 3 to break away. Pitkat, Williams, and Hodgson. Elwood in 4th. Car length back to Christopher in 5th, who drives it in deep into turn 3, but still can't make a move.
Kyle Elwood turning some heads here at Stafford. representing his hometown of Riverhead real well when you can run with Michael Christopher and these guys here at Stafford. Michael Christopher still right there.
Elwood hanging on to the spot in fourth for car number 4. Christopher in fifth.
Christopher trying to stay with him, looking for that Achilles heel. There it is. The door opened for a second. Elwood slipped up the racetrack. Michael Christopher almost was there. 32 of 80 will be soon in the record books. And there's Christopher again. He makes the move. Michael Christopher Jr. has moved into position number 4. Kyle Elwood back to 5.
9 laps shy of halfway, make it 8 as they race up the back straightaway. Pitkat out front, as he has been for the last 8 or so laps, on Ronnie Williams in second. All by himself in third. No real pressure either way. Teddy Hodgson in car 55. Christopher now in fourth and immediately pulls away from Kyle Elwood by 2 lengths within a lap of making that pass. Jacob Perry in car number 21, been kind of a sleeper in these races the last couple of months for the Open Modifieds, has run well.
Yes, he has.
And still quietly considered.
Traffic, and there's Williams at the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah, they are the one in the 50 car looking to get to the inside of Les Hinckley down in turn number 1 in the 06. Hinckley goes high, but set to the bottom, as is Williams. And you watch second, third, make that third, fourth, and fifth. Hodgson, Pastriak, and Perry single it out in the top 5.
37 laps complete. Woody Pitkat setting excellent time on the clock, but so isn't Michael Christopher Jr. He is getting closer, within striking distance. Then let's shift a little further back. Bassett Williams is blocked in, and Eric Goodale. And that is a battle for the 8th, 9th, and 10th position.
They'll single it out this time off of turn number 4. Another lap in the book. Will come to halfway, this time by Woody Pitkat, showing out front, and the interval has stabilized about 5 car lengths back to Christopher. Pastriak has his hands full with Perry in a race for 4th. Cross flags from the starter stand.
They come off the turn. Here comes Teddy Hodgson again to the inside of Chris Pastriak. Hodgson back up there. And now here comes the 179. Ahead of him is Jacob Perry.
Perry now in 4th as they cross the stripe. Pastriak
Hodgson
back
up to the
5th.
3rd.
Or yeah, Hodgson in 3rd.
Here comes Williams. Dives underneath Joey Cipriano. That's a bid for the 7th position. Williams is coming forward. He was in the midst of heavy traffic. 42 now complete. Margin between 1st and 2nd is 6/10. It's been just about that on every circuit.
43 of 80 in the books, and still close in a bit this time, about a half second between the two front runners in Woody Pitkat and Mike Christopher Jr. The gap back to 3rd has grown. Teddy Hodgson losing ground in that 3rd spot, but still able to fend off Jacob Perry and Austin Beers. Then that battle for 6 on your screen right now between Chris Pastriak and Ronnie Williams. Remember, Williams made a stop a few laps ago, about 11 laps ago, and that 50 coming to life.
And it certainly is. But time is starting to run out. Now, Jacob Perry is all over the Teddy Hodgson car, the 55 Connecticut in the 3rd spot. Jacob Perry turning some heads here today. He started back in the 13th position and has worked his way into the top 4. And I don't think Jacob Perry is done yet.
Battling Hodgson for third, and what a run for Jacob Perry inside of the racetrack off of turn number 4 and car number 21. Top of your screen, Perry and Hodgson. For that third spot, bottom of your screen, Cipriano, Bissett, Pastriak, Elwood, and others battle for positions in the second half of the top 10.
Perry has moved solidly into the top 3. Now, top of your screen, you're looking at Austin Beers trying to move in to challenge Teddy Hodgson. That's for the 4th and 5th position. Beers is there, reeling him in, and Hodgson's car appears to be starting to go away.
Driver to watch will be the 50. Ronnie Williams made the pit stop a few laps ago before halfway, and he is rallying through the field up to 6th and 4th and 5th, just a couple of car lengths in front of him as Beers goes to the inside of Hodgson for that 4th spot.
The last 2 circuits, Michael Christopher has reeled in on Woody Pitkat. He's cut the margin. It was 0.6 2 laps ago. It is 4. And now it almost appears that Woody Pitkat's car is not as strong as it was just 2 laps ago.
Into the final 30, 29 to run, and Ronnie Williams on a tear right now. Moved around Hodgson, closing in on Austin Beers in car number 179, that black and red 179. Williams hot on his hip as they race back to turn number 1.
Trying everything. Here comes Williams. Gets the lane open on the bottom. Ronnie Williams dives in. He's now up to the 4th spot, bumping Eric Beers back to 5.
Now, how quickly can Ronnie Williams close in on the top 3? Large gap, almost a half a straightaway to the 3rd place car, Jacob Perry in the 21. Then obviously a bigger gap back to the top 2 of Pitkat and Christopher. Time beginning to be precious here if this race stays under the green flag for Williams.
Williams continues to be among the quickest cars on the racetrack. He has passed more cars than anyone in the field to get back to the front after pitting early. And he is already closing up that gap on Teddy Hodgson. And just a few laps ago, Woody Pitkat's margin had dropped to 0.4 over Michael Christopher. And this time, it's back up to 0.7. So Woody might have been saving a bit or toying a bit with Michael Christopher.
Yeah, he knows it's time to go and wants to build a gap between himself and not only Christopher and Perry, but also Ronnie Williams. And it's to the point of the race now where if a caution does come out, can he afford to pit and have enough time to come up through the field as we get down to 22 to go?
Trouble.
And there's the caution flag.
There is the
Almost
car
on
that
cue.
spins, and it looks like
Tyler Berry in the 8.
Tyler Berry's car brings out the caution.
So
Pay off. Or is Woody Pitkat, the man that was dominant in the early 3/4 of the event? Green flag is out.
Williams back to the front of the field. And Bissett slides up high. Kyle Elwood back. Oh, trouble back straight away. Bissett nearly up on the wall and collects others in turn 3.
Mad scramble there.
Hodgson involved, got a piece of it in the 55 with some right front damage.
Austin Beers was involved with the 179, had no place to go. Teddy Hodgson's right front is down as Hodgson is trying to limp back to pit road. It appeared, and there is Eric Goodale's car. There is what appears to be 2 tires there to contend.
Here they come off of turn number 4. Keep an eye on Williams, but also Pitkat in the 8, who was in on pit road just a few laps ago as we go back under the green flag with 23 to run. Elwood doing a nice job in the outside lane, challenging for the race lead on Ronnie Williams.
Here comes the Woodman, Woody Pitkat, up to third. Kyle Elwood, high, wide, and handsome off turn number 4. Kyle Elwood has the lead, short-lived. Ronnie Williams takes it back, but Kyle Elwood takes over position number 1. Williams has to settle for second. Here comes Woody Pitkat.
Elwood holding off, or at least trying to, some of the best in the business here at Stafford in modified competition. Ronnie Williams, a multi-time SK Modified champion, as is Woody Pitkat, have racked up a lot of wins over the years between those two cars, and they are challenging Elwood now for the race lead.
Elwood doing a good job, trying to keep as much momentum going in the upper lane. Now Williams is back in command, and Woody Pitkat sneaks in the second. Here comes Pitkat. Bold move to the inside. Woody Pitkat sinks it in at a ton. Woody Pitkat becomes the leader once again.
Didn't take him long to get back to the front of the field for Woody Pitkat. About 6 laps for car number 8 over Ronnie Williams, who pitted much earlier in this event, about 7 laps shy of halfway when he came in. And now with 19 laps to go, Woody Pitkat back in command of this event.
Michael Christopher has moved into the 3rd position with car number 00.
And corner out of shape in turn number 1. May have had some contact with Pastriak. Kept it off the outside safer wall, but will lose a ton of spots on the racetrack.
Heartbreaker for him, but what a nice save. Back up front. Pitkat still holding off the opposition. Michael Christopher just clicked off the quickest lap in the top 5.
Going to be a penalty, we understand, coming for the 5 of Chris Pastriak. He'll cross the line this time in 5th as they race up the back straightaway.
Michael Christopher is closing in on Ronnie Williams in 2nd. Kyle Elwood gets a 2nd wind.
Here's the black flag from the starter's stand on the 5.
Here comes Michael Christopher Jr. inside the Jimmy Page race car, with LeMay turning the wrenches, takes over 2nd.
Christopher also made a stop just a few laps ago in the 00. Does he have enough to reel in Woody Pitkat, who is looking for his 3rd consecutive win in this Lincoln Tech Open 80? Won in 2022, won a year ago. Looking for a win here tonight as Pastriak hits the pit lane.
Still hitting his marks. 6/10 between 1st and 2nd. Meanwhile, it is still a good battle starting to develop for the 5th position. Joey Cipriano and Anthony Bello, and then there's Perry right there. You're looking at those 3 cars contending for positions 5, 6, and 7.
Perry to the inside. Cipriano slides up wide. A little bit of contact, but they're okay as they continue to bounce off each other here on the front straightaway. Cipriano not giving Perry a whole lot of room. Goodale moves in as well in car number 58 from the 8th spot.
10 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. 5 miles left. We're looking at Goodale trying to get back into the thick of things, as he is all over the back bumper of the Cipriano car.
Cipriano hangs on to 7th, Goodale in 8th, Les Hinckley in 9th, Teddy Hodgson, who had that damage during the last caution of the event, back up to 10th, but well behind the race leader and where he was running before that incident.
Still 7/10 between Woody Pitkat and Michael Christopher. Now it's starting to tighten up just a bit. 0.6. Lap 72 shows up on the board. Michael Christopher is coming. He's closing up that gap.
Does he have enough time? 0.6 to 0.5. If he can gain a tenth a lap, he will be there. And a couple of laps to make a move for the win if he has the car that is able to do just that.
Looks like he's moving in. Off turn number 4. Still 0.5, but getting closer.
Trouble, turn 4, one car out of shape. It's Hulkowitz.
Hulkowitz.
He keeps it rolling, nearly spun that car out.
Meanwhile, it still remains Woody Pitkat in command. On the last circuit by, still 0.6. Here comes Christopher. Moving in.
4 laps to go. Christopher trying to get there. Pitkat trying to pull away and go 3 in a row here in the Lincoln Tech Open 80. Leads into turn 3. Diving in deep is Mike Christopher Jr. Down to about 3 car lengths between the race leaders with 3 to go.
He's narrowed it down to 0.4. He is gaining and getting closer. But the big question, will time run out? Woody Pitkat in the Holmes Gunsmoke Stables. McDermott Family Prepared. Number 8. 78 of 80. All but gone. And Christopher now appears to be losing a little bit of ground on Woody Pitkat, but lap traffic is up ahead.
Running out of time.
1 lap to go.
Running out of time is Woody Pitkat. White flag, 1 lap to go. Looking for 3 wins in a row in this event here in the Lincoln Tech Open 80. Leads up the back straightaway for the final time.
Looking for the belt. The Lincoln Tech Championship belt goes to Woody Pitkat. Michael Christopher in for second. Ronnie Williams to finish in third. Kyle Elwood, great run for fourth. Perry, nice run in the top 5. Goodale, the comeback kid, will finish in 6th. Bellows will finish in 7th. Cipriano is 8th. Hinckley is 9th. And Teddy Hodgson